Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Kyle Curtis, and I'm going to be interviewing my dad, Christopher Curtis.
Hello.
Thank you, Dad, for agreeing to for this interview today.
Yep, you're
Let
welcome.
Let's start off by telling me a little about your childhood.
Okay, so I grew up with six siblings and my mom and dad back in Jamaica. Um, I I had a very nice childhood. Grew up. We had a few animals. My dad was a butcher. I would help my dad. Take out the goat, take help take the goats to the market. I would help him to cook. He had a little restaurant that I would help to cook him with him before I go to school. So I had a lovely childhood.
All right. What did you say kickstarted your passion for cooking?
Okay, so my passion for cooking came from my dad. I would help my dad in the restaurant when he had it. I would be peeling the carrots, help him to season the chicken. I would go to the market to buy some stuff to help um, prepare the meal. But one day we were home and he asked me to prepare lunch, and I prepared lunch, and the whole family, they had the lunch and they were very happy. They were giving me a lot of positive affirmations, and it felt pretty good. And I was 11 years old at that time, and I felt really good that they liked what I cooked. And I think that sparked something in me that day that I didn't know I was gonna become a chef, but I felt good from that. And when I look back, I could pinpoint that moment to when I really fell in love with cooking.
Do you think if your family had negative reactions to your cooking, you would become who you are today?
Um, if they had negative reaction, I don't think that would have stopped me, but I think it did help me. The positive affirmation did help me. But I think when you're born to do something, it comes out naturally, and if it didn't come out at that time, eventually it would have come out. So I don't think um, having a negative reaction to something will ever stop you from doing what you were born to do, because I believe that I was born to do this thing because I get the most pleasure from doing it, and I think eventually I would have stumbled in it.
Even if this moment happens, since your dad is a butcher, would you just become a chef to carry on his legacy?
No, my dad was not just a butcher; he was a butcher and a chef. But I didn't do it to carry on his legacy. There was no thought of legacy. There was more. I think it was more out of necessity. You know, I needed to do something that I was familiar with. I needed to do something that I loved. So um, that was the thing that I could do. So I pursued it. And I when I left school, I just went to work in a hotel, washing dishes until I become a cook.
How they why did they decide to promote you when you became a dishwasher?
Okay, so I would work in this resort, and I would work from the graveyard shift from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And instead of going home, I would stay, and I would stay from 7 o'clock till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I would help the cooks. I would work for free for all that 8 hours. Whatever they wanted me to do, I would do it. I would I would just peel the carrots, whisk whatever they want me to whisk, help to clean the chicken, help go into pastry, help the pastry chef roll, make croissants, make donuts for the breakfast, whatever they wanted me to do, whatever was considered the grub work, I would do it, because I wanted to get the knowledge from their head.
What happened in that moment that allowed you to professionally promote your career?
Oh, to get a promotion.
Yeah.
So what happened was I was working the graveyard shift one night, and 5 o'clock in the morning, the pastry chef would come to work, and that particular day he didn't show up. He got sick. So I needed to make the banana bread, the croissants, the donuts, all the different breakfast pastries. And and so I just jumped in and I baked it all off. I fried the donut, did all that was necessary for the breakfast. And when the chefs they came in at 7 a.m. and they saw everything ready and they didn't see the pastry chef, they're like, "Who did it?" I did it. So they were really happy that someone was there to pick up the slacks, and the executive chef heard, and he was very happy, and he gave me a promotion, and I became a cook from then. Yep.
Who inspired you to work this hard in your career?
Who inspired me to work so hard? So for me, the inspiration I would say come from my sense of purpose. I think that I was born with a special reason, for a special purpose, and I feel like I'm doing it for a greater good. I feel like I'm doing what God made me to do. So if I'm doing something that I think God made me to do, I'm gonna do it with all my heart. I'm not gonna do it half-heartedly. So that's my driving force for working hard. I do it like I'm doing it not for a paycheck or for a man, but for a greater purpose.
Right.
Mhm.
Was there any professional chef that inspired you as well?
Yes, so after my family migrated and came to the USA, um, I signed up for culinary school, and because I signed up for culinary school, it opened a lot of door for me to 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 get an externship at some of the most fancy restaurant, at one of the most fancy restaurant in New York. So I worked for this really great chef. He was very famous at that time. He was the youngest chef to get 3 stars in New York. A young black chef. His name Michael. His name was Eric. No, his name was Marcus Samuelson. So I worked with him, and that working with him opened a lot of doors, because when people saw that restaurant on my resume, I would get hired in other fancy restaurant because they think that I have the know-how of how to do what they wanted me to do. So that experience opened the door to work with many other chefs.
Uh,
Hmm.
would you say that was easier to pursue your career in the U.S. than Jamaica?
Yes, it was. And after graduated from high school in Jamaica, my parents didn't really have the money to send me to college like that, and I wasn't like a top student. I wasn't like, a student. I was average. So so I had to find a career that that fit my skill level and my personality. But when I came to the US, I was able to 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 um to get a student loan to pursue what I loved, and I love culinary art. So my mom gave me the number for the Art Institute of New York, and I signed up, and I went to school, did my degree in culinary art and restaurant management, graduated after 2 years, and just been working ever since. Yeah.
What would you say? What was your biggest accomplishment in your career right now?
Okay, so my biggest accomplishment. So right now I am working as a regional executive chef for a big culinary conglomerate. I'm working for one of the top 5 food service provider within the US, and I'm the regional chef for that company. So that's a big accomplishment in itself. Just to know that I'm just a guy from Jamaica that came here, and now I'm over multiple different facilities, working with a lot of great chefs and leading a huge team. That's one of the greatest accomplishments up to this point.
would you say that you would be satisfied right now if your career ended?
No, I wouldn't go out and say I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied in the fact that yes, I get to touch a lot of lives and I get to influence a lot of people. But my greatest satisfaction would be if I own my own restaurant and I have multiple restaurants that I'm managing, and it's my company that I'm working for instead of someone else.
What would you say is the biggest challenge for you right now in your career?
Biggest challenge for me is continuing to work for someone else. That's the biggest challenge because my mind has developed past the stage of just being a worker. I want to be an owner now. I want to have my own restaurant. I want to employ people. I want to provide employment to multiple people in multiple states. I want to do great things. You know, that's not just for a big company. So that's where I want to go.
Well, I hope you reach there, Dad. Thank you for agreeing for this interview today.
You're welcome and thank you. Good job. All right.
All right.
Yeah.